Hello, my name is Tim Rand, and today is June 25th, 2023, and I'm doing my 10-year anniversary of quitting caffeine and just doing a general check-in. So 10 years ago, I started doing some videos on YouTube about quitting energy drinks. And I was 52 then, I'm 62 now. I developed a method, I called it the T-30 method, which was a way to basically quit energy drinks gradually, kind of titrating energy shots into water, and I show how to do that on my channel. And I succeeded in doing that. I chronicled the steps I took in that first year, and then I've been doing annual updates every year since. Although I think this will be my last update on health-related issues. So in prior years, I kind of gradually added new elements to my health protocol. I added intermittent fasting, which actually I had done prior to doing these videos. Vitamin D, limiting sugar, apple cider vinegar, just exercise and chronicling my progress, and maybe a few other things. But this past year, there isn't really too much I've added. But this video will just concentrate on caffeine. And in this video, I'm just going to give what I think are 10 benefits of quitting caffeine. Anyone who's followed my videos, I've done more than just quitting caffeine, but that's been sort of the cornerstone of my health protocol, and it's when I started doing these videos. So I'm going to just do the 10 10 reasons that I think quitting caffeine is a good idea. Also, you know, my videos don't get that many views, but this whole caffeine, getting off caffeine has really exploded on YouTube since I started these videos. When I first did it, there were very few, if any, videos about quitting caffeine, particularly showing in real time how to do it. And I think, you know, I'm going to put an end to this project, I think, but also I think in the addendum, I'm going to show how the energy drink market has just exploded over the past 10 years while I've been doing these videos. And I think the problems that I was having are going to be problems that many, many people are going to be having more and more. So these videos will just remain on YouTube, and hopefully at some point people will look at them, and, you know, as health problems mount, which I think they will, and they did for me, you know, I provided a way and showed a way to quit. And so hopefully it'll just remain on YouTube for a while, and hopefully people will look into it in the future. Okay, but for now, I'll just do the top 10 reasons for quitting caffeine based on my 10-year experience. So one of the top 3 reasons that I tried to quit caffeine and did quit caffeine was to reduce anxiety. And here, I think quitting caffeine has really improved my quality of life in the past 10 years. Now, I'm kind of an anxious person by nature throughout my entire life, so drinking caffeine was a bad idea from the beginning. But it wasn't so bad when I started drinking coffee maybe 25 or 30 years ago. It really started hitting me hard when I started drinking energy drinks. And I think it would manifest itself primarily as like panic attacks. And I would get those fairly frequently, like maybe once or twice a month, for things that weren't even that serious, just like going to the doctor or the dentist could set it off, or, you know, even just like getting a haircut or something. And as I said, I'm kind of an anxious person by nature. And so even now, I would say, but it's down to like once a year, maybe it would happen to me. Whereas before it was once or twice a month. So quitting caffeine, without a doubt, has been a great benefit on the anxiety front. And I think a lot of it has to do with, and I talk about this in my videos from years ago on my channel, which you can check, particularly in those first 30 days. But caffeine blocks these things called adenosine receptors that are in your brain and throughout your body that kind of help you relax after an initial anxiety-producing event. But when you're drinking caffeine, it kind of blocks that those receptors from receiving the adenosine, and so you can't relax. So you get a little bit of a buzz. You get like a endorphin buzz, you know, fight or flight thing that kind of feels good. It gives you these good feelings, but it also prevents you from kind of relaxing. And you know, I think this causes these panic attacks to occur, or just generalized anxiety. So I would say for me, one of the greatest benefits of quitting caffeine has been reduction in anxiety. Okay, the second main reason I think I wanted to quit caffeine, 10 years ago, was to improve my sleep. I think I talk a lot about this in my earlier videos. Coffee would mess up my sleep, but I found energy drinks was really messing up my sleep pattern. I've always been kind of a night owl and stayed up late, and still even do to this day. But if you go back to those early videos, I'd be getting up at 6 a.m., which is not my normal sleep pattern at all, to, get my caffeine fix. So today I get more restful sleep, and I believe cutting caffeine has helped that. I mean, without a doubt. I will say, I think I'm typical. As people get older, they don't sleep as much. So I don't sleep as much as I used to. But I think my sleep is better. And one thing for sure, in the mornings, I can kind of sleep in. I don't feel like I have to get up to get, a fix or whatever. So quitting caffeine has definitely helped my sleep. My sleep isn't perfect right now, but it is definitely better. So that has been, I would say, the second main benefit of quitting caffeine. Okay, the third main benefit from quitting caffeine has been losing weight. I began this project to quit energy drinks, and as time has gone by, I've added new features to the health protocol. But one of the main things was to lose weight. I had gradually gotten up to 210 pounds at one point, a few years before I started these videos. And then I started off with intermittent fasting, but I was still addicted to these energy drinks, which contained a lot of sugar and caffeine. And was pretty sure that was, keeping my weight up. So, I don't think caffeine by itself causes weight gain, but I think it's in particular, the really dangerous combination of caffeine and sugar. And I talk about this in some of my previous videos, particularly I think there's a day 27 and day 28 of my sugar withdrawal program, and I'll put those in the link below. They don't get many views, but they talk a lot about this particularly dangerous connection between caffeine and sugar, which is really evident. It's been evident for a long time, since the beginning of, Coca-Cola and, caffeinated sodas, but it's really accelerated recently with these energy drinks. So like this morning, I woke up, I was 177. So that's like 33 pounds less than I was, shortly before I began these videos. So in fact, let me just show you how I'm looking now, and then maybe I'll post a video or a picture of how I looked before. So I think I'll try to take my shirt off. I mean, it's the summertime, so it's kind of like being at the beach. So, and I ate lunch already, but I've lost about 30 pounds. But I feel in pretty good shape. So let me just come back. So basically, yeah, so those are the three benefits. I've losing weight, reducing anxiety, and better sleep are the three main benefits, I think. And now I'll do 6 other benefits that I've gotten since quitting caffeine. Okay, so now I guess the fourth benefit of quitting caffeine is just the kind of the great feeling of breaking an addiction. It's kind of just like the concept of getting the monkey off your back or something like that. So for years, I basically couldn't start the day every day without getting a coffee or later on an energy drink. I remember in the early 2000s, like if I was traveling or something, I'd find myself driving for miles in the morning. This was kind of when energy drinks had just started and they weren't available everywhere. So I would drive for miles just to get that hit in the morning to start my day. So for me, caffeine is not even a thing for me at all. So I wake up in the morning, I don't think about coffee or caffeine or energy drinks or anything like that. So just the joy of breaking an addiction and, getting a monkey off your back or whatever is a great benefit. So I think the 5th benefit of quitting caffeine is just a general better appearance. When I started this project 10 years ago, I noticed people even commenting on my videos or just people in life were saying that I was looking better. So even though I was feeling bad, because that whole, for a pretty significant part of that first year, I didn't feel that good. So I was kind of feeling bad, but people were saying I was looking better. Now that's definitely not true during the heat of the withdrawal period, which I kind of show in my videos too. Like there's a period of about a week or so, or well, 3 or 4 days where you're not going to look good at all. I mean, you're just going to look horrible. But after that, you're still not going to feel very good for really a fairly lengthy period of time, but you will end up looking better. At least that was my experience. So yeah, maybe I'll even show a picture of the day 1 and day 60 videos, or just maybe the thumbnail or something. And you could go check those videos out yourself. Those videos, by the way, it's very raw. It was completely unedited, and they might be hard to watch. I can't go back and watch them myself, but I will say, even to this day, I mean, you get, I think quitting caffeine improves your appearance. And yeah, that's all I can say about it. Like you get like a 10 or 20% boost in your appearance. Although I will say, like, my wife went back to drinking coffee, unfortunately, and she still looks good. So I don't know, but I would say it improves your appearance in general. Okay, I think a 6th benefit to quitting caffeine is it's a gateway to better health and new health projects. As I've said many times, quitting caffeine is very hard. And if you are able to do it, it just kind of emboldens you to take on new projects, which most of them are not as hard as that. And we're surrounded by a lot of temptations, not even mentioning the illegal ones, the legal ones of like nicotine and sugar, alcohol. And once you've kind of gotten off caffeine, it's easy. It's kind of not easy, but it's easier to kind of reduce those other ones as well. I think, you know, if you, like 80% of people are kind of hooked on caffeine, you're sort of starting out in a state of drug dependence. And it's harder to kind of be in tune with the subtleties of what like your body wants and needs, because you're starting off kind of as a drug addict, basically. And so it confuses the signals or I found. And so once that one is removed, once the caffeine dependence is removed, you're just more in tune with your body. And like, it's kind of hard to explain, but your body just knows more what it wants and needs, because it's like less confused by, as I said, starting off in a state of drug dependency. So I would just say it's kind of a big one. The number 6 one is quitting caffeine is a gateway to to better health and new health projects. Okay, so I'll say a 7th benefit of quitting caffeine is just a general sense of accomplishment and personal empowerment. So in life, there aren't that many things you can, you know, take ownership of personally as, you know, a sole personal achievement. And, but quitting caffeine is one. It's really just a personal thing. It's just you doing it. And to me, it's kind of an empowering thing, because it's a very hard thing to do, first of all. And anyone who's tried it and who hasn't been able to do it, I totally understand. It is really hard. You know, if you look at the videos on YouTube now, you know, many people, you know, they'll quit caffeine for 30 days and say, yeah, I quit caffeine. Then they go back to quitting caffeine. The real thing is to like really quit caffeine for good. That's a hard thing. To quit for 30 days is a little bit of an achievement, but to actually quit for good is hard. And so for me, it's kind of like something to be proud of. It's like winning an achievement badge in Boy Scouts or something. I was never in Boy Scouts, or like winning a medal in the war or a trophy in sports or something. It's like, it's something, you know, it's a personal accomplishment, and, you know, it's a great feeling. It's like, I did something that is not that easy to do. So that, I would say, is a big benefit of quitting caffeine. Okay, an 8th benefit of quitting caffeine is saving money. I think you can easily spend $5 or more per day on, you know, coffee or energy drinks or soda. So, you know, over a year, that's like $1,500, more than $1,500. So you could save like a couple $1,000s a year. And also, you know, as I've been doing this more, I try to drink mainly water most of the time. And so you're going to save money on other drinks as well. So I would say an 8th benefit of quitting caffeine is saving money. Okay, an 8th or 9th benefit of quitting caffeine, and this is a pretty important one, is I think better personal relationships, particularly with your significant other, like a girlfriend or a wife or whatever. So for example, for me, like during this entire 10-year experience, I got married, which is a pretty major thing. And I think in terms of relationships, it's good. It's kind of hooked to the anxiety issue that I was talking about before, but you're much more calm in terms of anything that comes up in a relationship. Like it's hard to get riled up, which I would do so more in the past, I guess. So that's good. And also kind of, I don't know if I'll talk about this, but, you know, kind of like for guys as they get older, you know, their drive kind of goes down. So I would say I was a typical guy. So like in terms of your sex drive or whatever, so it was very high. And then during the 40s, it kind of went down a little, and I was very worried like about my 40s. But then, you know, as I would say in the last 10 years with all these projects I've been doing, you know, particularly just removing the caffeine and sugar and also nicotine and everything from my system, it's kind of gone back up again. So I'm 62 now. I'm not like I'm 30, but I'm in pretty good shape. So that was a really good benefit of this whole thing. And it wasn't immediate either. It's just been slowly getting better. And so yeah, just in terms of personal relationships, both in terms of your physical drive and also just, you know, conflict resolution and things like that, quitting caffeine has been really very helpful. Okay, for the 10th reason, benefit of quitting caffeine, I'm going to get kind of philosophical, I guess, or more broad-based, that I think quitting caffeine promotes more cooperation than competition. It's kind of like peace versus war. I think I brought this idea up in my year 3 video, where I sort of proposed the idea that as more caffeine has been injected into humanity, we kind of the frequency and deadliness of like conflict has increased, and even war. So evolution has kind of created this adenosine transmission mechanism, which I talk about, and you can find out on many videos, but I talk about it in my earlier videos, that caffeine disrupts. But, you know, evolution has created that for a reason. And one of the reasons, I think, is to kind of promote more social cohesion and cooperation. And caffeine, by kind of disrupting that natural adenosine transmission mechanism in our bodies that evolution has created for a reason, and it kind of gives us like a fight or flight buzz. But to me, like the more caffeine that gets injected into humanity as a whole, we're going to get involved in more competition and conflict. It's kind of interesting, like a lot of the risky or dangerous sports like MMA and, you know, I don't know all those sports, those mountain biking sports, a lot of times they're advertised by energy drinks. And as humanity consumes more and more caffeine and kind of disrupts that natural adenosine transmission system, that humans are going to get involved in more and more conflict and war. It's just harder. It's, again, the thing I was talking about, the anxiety. It's harder to relax. It's easier to get upset by something that somebody's doing. And, you know, taken to its extreme, you know, you have sports and things like that, but then you have war. You know, people can't get along. And so, you know, this is kind of crazy, but yeah, I'll just say it anyway. You know, people talk about like what's going to end the world. Like some people say global warming is going to end the world, or nuclear bombs will end the world, or now they're saying artificial intelligence may, you know, be the downfall of humanity. I think even like energy drinks or just too much caffeine, too much disrupting this key transmission system in humanity could cause conflict that will, I don't know, if it's going to destroy the world or whatever, but could, increase wars or whatever. I don't know, that was a little bit weird. But so that I'll leave as the 10th reason for quitting caffeine. Okay, so that's it. So in the past 10 years, I've been involved in trying to get in shape, as I entered my 50s and my 60s. And quitting caffeine, and in particular energy drinks, has been a cornerstone of that process. And this will probably be my last video on this issue. And thanks, and good luck to everyone.